Shout to Mobamba.
What's up everyone, it's Adam from FWCI Sports and Gaming, and we're going to have another chat about WWE 2K22. We've got some more details that have come out, some more screenshots. They're doing ratings now, which I'll talk more about in a second, my feelings on that. But what I want to try and do in the video today is talk about the stuff that we know. The stuff that we know for a fact, whether it be stuff from the history of 2K, whether it be stuff that we know about the NBA 2K series, or whether it be stuff that we know from the information that's been leaked out. So we're going to bounce around a few different topics here, but I will put some notes in the description as well if you do want to have a skip ahead. But let's start with the recently announced ratings that 2K seems to be really happy about. They're kind of pointless, don't you think? You can change anybody's rating in the game. If you're using universe mode, ratings will fluctuate depending on where people are in the power rankings. Having the ratings, announced is kind of a copy of what they do with the NBA series, and I'm going to talk more about the ratings later on because they're pointless. They really don't have any impact on how people play this game. So it just feels like another thing that 2K's doing to really aggressively market this game, where that's not what I want from 2K this year. I don't want the typical marketing that we get every single year. I want to see some evidence that they've fixed what they broke. But visual concepts are a big part of this as well. That's really who this is about, 2K and visual concepts. So again, I'm just waiting for some actual tangible gameplay and details so that we know what's going on. I've pre-ordered the game because I plan on covering it on the channel, but my advice to people is wait until the game comes out before you go pre-order the NWO edition, because yeah, it's a pricey one. But let's jump in first of all to the things that I am excited about for this game. So there are a lot of things that I am pretty excited to see. For example, I'm excited to finally have GM mode. That's something that, we've been, prohibited from having, it feels like, for over 10 years at this point. I'm excited to have updated game mechanics. I thought 2K19 was an okay balance, but as far as tearing the whole thing down and rebuilding it, I'm hoping that could only be a good thing. But either way, I'm excited that we're going to get different game mechanics. Whether it's a success or not, I'm just excited that it's happening for a start. If they work as advertised, of course. I'm excited to see what improvements have been made to universe mode. So a lot of people talking about GM mode, not a lot of discussion about universe mode, but if they can add some more, proper storylines where you have a bit more control over what's going to happen, maybe be able to add a third person into a story as the supplementary rivalry member and stuff like that. Just a little bit more control over what they've given us in the past iterations of universe mode. So I'm excited for universe mode as well. I love that mode now, and I'll definitely be playing it in the future, unless GM mode ends up being exceptional, which, yeah, hold your breath on that because we'll get to that in a second. I'm excited to see what talent is included in the future DLC packs and the roster in general, to be completely honest. But I can't wait to see people like Grayson Waller, Duke Hudson, obviously, my countryman, Bron Breakker, Xia Li, Persia Pirotta. I want to see those NXT new talent be introduced into the game as the year goes on, if they're not in the roster already. But I feel like those guys have all come along very recently. Maybe they would make a rush to get Bron Breakker in the game on release. That would be a nice touch. But the future DLC packs this year, I'm excited to see who actually gets on it, because the roster has changed a lot since the last time we got a WWE 2K game. I'm excited for the WWE game debut of Dexter Lumis, Santos Escobar, Indy Hartwell, Carmelo Hayes, and others. So I think those are people that are probably going to be on the day one roster. Lumis, Escobar, Hartwell, Carmelo Hayes. Can't wait to see them in the game, especially Santos Escobar and Dexter Lumis as well. I feel like he would look great in this game because he already has that kind of, stoic face as well. So again, the roster, the amount of new talent that have come in, even though WWE's been releasing tons and tons of people. They've also brought quite a few in as well, so it's going to be a different looking roster than, we've seen for a long time, I feel like. And I'm excited to try my faction. If that ends up being an online game, I'm going to be very interested for that. I've never had much motivation or inspiration to play the WWE 2K games online. I remember going online one day with Noam Dar, and I kept getting 100 overall creator wrestlers, and I kept beating them. So I don't know what that says. Does that mean I'm going to dominate? I don't know. You have to tune into the channel to find out. But I've really never had much incentive to play online WWE 2K. So I'm actually interested to try that. A couple more things I'm excited about. I'm excited to see if there's any improvements with the My Career mode or My Rise. Obviously, 2K20's My Career mode was pretty bad from a creative standpoint. 2K19's was better, but I just thought the skill tree and the level up system in that was needlessly arduous, and I found that I was getting way too far into the storyline, and my guy just wasn't leveled up enough to to be able to continue on. And I can't remember exactly how the mechanics of it worked, but I finished the storyline and I was like, I'm happy never playing this again, and I never did. But if they can add more to that, the latest NBA My Career mode has been a bit different. There's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of if they did it a little bit more, if they were a bit cooler about it, I don't know what way to put it. It seems kind of like clunky and lame in some aspects, in my opinion anyway. I haven't really been enjoying it. The one thing I have enjoyed about the NBA career mode is Kendrick Perkins jumps on the Twitter machine every couple of months and just starts talking massive amounts of shit about you, and then you go and have a massive game afterwards. And you've got like a rivalry with Kendrick Perkins.
Can we talk about this tweet for a second from user Start MP, you idiots? First of all, is that your burner MP? I refuse to believe a real person would name themselves that.
And that was a really good touch because that felt very realistic. So, I don't know. I think it'll be fun to have more of that involved in the 2K storylines. But again, it all depends on how the totality of those modes plays out. And lastly, I'm excited for a current WWE game. This is the first time in what feels like 3 years since we've had one. I'm excited for all the content creators out there who, really got the rough end of the stick when 2K20 came out. I can't imagine, just to give you guys a bit of background, I started my channel about a year and a half ago, a little bit less than that. My main channel is called FWCI, etc. It's a reaction channel. I made the sports and gaming one purely so that I would have a wrestling audience to cover WWE 2K22. That is the sole reason why I made this channel and took on this extra work to build this kind of audience. So I don't know how I would have felt if I was doing this and then 2K20 came out. I think that would have been pretty crushing, to be completely honest. So I feel for the content creators out there who have done their best to, fumble their way through the last 2 years using WWE 2K20. I just stayed on 2K19 and I'm pretty happy with that decision, to be honest. But again, it's just going to be good to have a current wrestling game that, we can talk about, that we can play, that we can learn together. And I am excited for WWE 2K22. Make no bones about it. I'm not a pessimist. I am excited for this game. But with all that being said, there are some things that I'm nervous about. And again, all I want to talk about in this video is the stuff that we know. The stuff that we know. It's okay to speculate a little bit, but I mean, we can't say this game will be good because we don't know. We can't say this game will be terrible because we don't know. So I try and use my language very specifically by saying that I'm either excited or nervous about things, not that I think it'll be good or bad sort of thing. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this anyway. I really enjoy engaging with you guys in the comments, and I'm going to read some comments as well. First thing I've got written down, I'm nervous about GM mode being locked to only current WWE brands. So this is confirmed. We have confirmation that you can use Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK. One of the things I noticed about this, we also saw a screen of the GMs that you can have, and it's Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, Shane McMahon, and Stephanie McMahon. That makes me believe that Shane and Stephanie will be the GMs of NXT and NXT UK. no Triple H and William Regal in those roles. Like, again, it's hard to separate what WWE does as a company with what they produce in their product, because it's very influenced by the political nature of WWE as a corporation. It bleeds through into their product all the time, and we'll talk about more examples of that in a second, and why I'm saying this is what happens. So we know that there's not going to be any custom roster, any custom brands. I assume we can have custom rosters with created wrestlers. If we can't, then that's not good at all. But again, we don't know that for sure yet. All we know is that nobody will be able to use AEW. People will not be able to use MLW or Lucha Underground or any non-WWE brand in general manager mode. And I think that kind of sucks. And it leads me on to point number 2. I'm nervous about Vince McMahon's insecure business practices. We've heard the stories. There was a story years ago. First of all, don't say belt on TV. It's a superstar. It's sports entertainment, pal. Like, all of this micromanagement that Vince McMahon is known for. It's proven that you listen to interviews with John Moxley and things like that. The guy just has his hand on every single thing. And you know what? People say it's his company. It's a publicly traded company. He's the chairman, but I don't understand how this has been allowed to go on as long as it has. But years ago, we had I think it was 2K16 or something like that. There was a memo that leaked from the game developers that said, we're not allowed to take any screenshots of Triple H losing or any screenshots of Triple H in a defenseless or vulnerable position. Now, I don't know if this is because he was about to go and feud with Brock Lesnar. Whatever reason this is absolutely insane. The fact that this was a direction that was given. So, in my opinion, would WWE allow players to use the AEW roster to win a competition against WWE in their own game? The answer to that is clearly no, they don't. They do not want you to use AEW. They do not want you to use Impact or anybody else in that competition arena. Yes, you will be able to have AEW in universe mode. Same as you could have the bloody SpongeBob SquarePants arena in universe mode. Like, it doesn't mean anything. You're not competing against WWE in universe mode. You're just having fun doing whatever you want. I think it's very telling that GM mode being a competitive mode, WWE, very, very insecure, does not want people to be defeating WWE in that mode. And I say that with complete confidence. So, again, that's a warning sign of, okay, because think about this. The last time a WWE game came out, AEW didn't exist yet. It was like on the books. I remember 2K20 came out and bombed. The Fiend had that dreadful Hell in a Cell match, and AEW went live with Dynamite all on like the same week, like within the same couple of weeks or something like that. It was a wild time in wrestling, and yeah, it's no surprise that we're seeing the existence of AEW influencing how WWE gets 2K and Visual Concepts to produce this game. I'm nervous that the screenshots that we've seen of legends like Macho Man Randy Savage, the footage that we saw of Ultimate Warrior, are still in the same attire that they've been in since 2K19. That's not a good sign. That does not show me that there was attention to detail given, that something as basic as, hey, let's put a different attire for the Ultimate Warrior, something that's already in the game. Creators can make better attires than these, and the attire they've got for the Warrior is the most confusing one ever. Why is he patriotic to America? He comes from parts unknown. I thought he was an alien for a long time. Isn't that like his story or something? So just terrible decision on the Ultimate Warrior attire in the first place. I know it was probably a part of like a showcase mode or something like that, but it just always felt like the least Warrior like attire that they would have in the game, and it's still here for 2K22. Same with Savage, it is green and blue, but not a good sign. I'm also nervous that 2K profited from WWE 2K20 despite it being a complete broken mess, and that it had one update in 24 months. Yet WWE 2K22 costs more than any other AAA sports title that is available currently for the current generation. Like, we have a look at 2K22 in Australian dollars, and this will be different for, around the world. But in my money that I have to pay, NWO edition, $179.95. Meanwhile, NBA 2K22 75th anniversary edition, $149.95 Australian. FIFA, $109.95 Australian. Gran Turismo 7, $124. Forspoken by Square Enix, the AAA game that's coming out soon, $114.95. Meanwhile, WWE 2K20, still to this day on the PlayStation Store, $172.40 if you include the Bump in the Night DLC, which, as I'm about to talk about, everybody's going to have to do in terms of getting the NWO edition, because how the community creations work in this game is if you don't have the asset that somebody has used in their created content, you can't download it. So if somebody puts Scott Hall's vest on this Hangman Adam Page DLC that you want really bad and you didn't want to pay an extra $30 Australian to get the NWO DLC, well, you can't download that item. And I think I understand why that is, because otherwise people could just replicate the DLC and re-upload it and nobody would need to buy it. But it's also a very convenient outcome for 2K in terms of like, well, I guess you're just gonna have to buy the DLC if you want the content then. And I don't know, that seems problematic. That almost feels like there is a percentage of the community creations that would technically be behind a paywall, because unless you buy this DLC, you can't participate in those creations. And that is a big selling point for this one here. Something else I'm excited for is the cross-platform created content. That's an easy one. I'm pumped for that. But again, the way that they've structured all this DLC and the way the game works, it's a very unique situation. You don't get this problem with NBA games and stuff like that, because those games just get frequent updates throughout the year. If you buy the game, you've always got the latest roster no matter what. WWE games aren't like that. This is a different situation. So I'm going to keep a curious eye on that, but I'm very nervous as to how people are going to manage this, especially considering the price tag that they've put on the NWO edition, which is the one that gives you all of the content. I'm nervous that only a month away from the game's release, there's still been no gameplay. I don't think that's a good look. I don't think that's a good sign. The fact is, and again, we're just trying to talk about things that we know for a fact, we haven't seen gameplay. Why not? It really feels overdue. They've had years at this point to develop this game. They need to, unless they're still working on it, and which is that's not a good thing either. I don't understand what the holdup is on really getting into the weeds, because at this point, all it's been is typical 2K marketing. In terms of just, hey, look at these ratings. Hey, everyone, what edition are you going to pre-order? Hit retweet. Like, just, here's a commercial for the game that has, less than a couple of seconds of actual footage from the game in it. And it's just going to be wrestlers, trying to woo people. Like, oh, hey, it's Alexa Bliss, buy this game. And I know that that's marketing, but again, Chris Denkman said this as well. Any other year, I would agree that this is all perfectly fine and above board. This is a different year with what's happened the past, 24 months with the WWE 2K franchise. So I am nervous that they haven't shown us more of the game at this point, because it's close. It's only a month and a bit away. And kind of on top of that, I've got here, I'm nervous the entire rollout of this game has been similar to 2K20. They didn't show gameplay with that. There was the season pass and then additional paid DLC on top of that. They clearly weren't confident with 2K20, and they went all in with their marketing as well. So that's why I don't really buy into the WWE 2K marketing when I see them talking about, the gameplay's gonna be, and it's gonna be, and it's gonna be. I'm not buying it, because until I see it, it's gonna be, something we don't know yet. So whether it's gonna be good or bad, we don't know. So I really am trying not to buy into their marketing, and it is a little bit on the nose how oblivious they really seem to be to the fact that they missed an entire year because the game before that was absolute garbage that people paid for. And I'm also nervous that Visual Concepts are the developers, because I've been playing their career modes on the NBA franchise for years at this point, and they were never that great. and they've kind of gotten worse and worse and worse. Not just from a creative standpoint with some of the storylines that they've kind of had. They've been very linear storylines, and they've been some of them have been just downright weird.
It just so happens that when you were in high school, you killed a man, so you can't get rid of Vic because he knows the truth.
But also the way they integrate the career mode into the park mode. They had it for a while, and it was actually pretty good when they had the park that was square. Every single store that you needed was around that park. So you had all the courts in the middle to play ball on, you had all the shops around, and then there was a little bit more stuff that you could go and explore that was not necessarily that, every day. You look at the city, they call it now, on 2K22. You're spending several minutes going between one point of the map to another just to complete a mandatory task before it will even let you move on to playing the next game. A lot of time-wasting mechanics in NBA 2K22. It's a game that basically forces you to grind to, get the next level up for your character or whatever it is, but it makes grinding a slow process purely by waiting. This screen is going to be sitting here for 30 seconds. Well, that might not be much, but you do 10 games. All right, now we've got 5 minutes that you could have had another game in, kind of thing. It all adds up, and I think it's all a mechanic designed to slow down the player's progression, to keep them coming back to the game longer, or probably more likely to drop a whole bunch of real life cash for virtual currency so they can level their dude up. So visual concepts as far as what they've been doing with the career mode in NBA, it's not good. It's bad. I think it's quite a toxic environment that they are putting together, to be completely honest, with the NBA 2K fan base. And what really sucks about that is you go back to 2K11 and 2K12, they really started to get the gameplay right. They really started to find that groove of making just an absolutely, immaculate, stellar, top of the range basketball game. And very soon after that is when the, more of the paid content started coming in. And the way that looks today is you've got this amazing basketball game. If you're playing local multiplayer against a friend, or if you and a friend are just jumping on and picking whoever's a team each and having a game online, this game is absolutely amazing. But that's not what people play in this game. And that brings me back to the ratings. NBA 2K, every year they put out the ratings. Okay, that's cool. 99% of people that play that game either play the My Park mode or My Career mode, which has nothing to do with the ratings that they reveal on NBA, or they're playing My Team mode, which also has nothing to do with those ratings. Those ratings are just your basic exhibition ratings. So people get all excited about it, but they really are quite pointless. And it's just sort of easy marketing for 2K to be like, oh, what's Bobby Lashley's rating going to be this year, everyone? Whoa, tune in to find out. Well, it's not going to matter, because you can, if you want to make Bobby Lashley a 60 overall, you can. If you're going to put him in universe mode or whatever, chances are he's going to go up anyway, because he gets that popularity boost, if that's what they're doing again this year. So, just the whole way visual concepts go around making these modes and the way they market it, I'm not a fan. I really am not a fan. This year's NBA has really, abused me into just not wanting to play that game anymore. It's just starting to become ridiculous. So, cautiously optimistic that the WWE games won't suffer the same fate. I don't think we're going to get microtransactions in a WWE game yet. If we do, I think it'll be challenged, to be completely honest, because NBA is a G-rated game, but it's very heavy on the microtransactions, which I find very curious, because it really seems to do everything in its power to push the player into spending real-life money. And WWE is also a G-rated game, but it will be more aimed at kids than the NBA game is, kind of thing. So, I don't know. I think people would contest if they started introducing the type of microtransactions that we see in the NBA 2K series. So I'm holding on to the fact that that's not going to happen, but you never know. But anyway, let's have a look at some comments that we've had from the last couple of videos, because again, I am enjoying covering this game, even though it's scary, to be honest, that I'm investing this much time into covering this game, knowing that in my heart and with my experience that there are some things that are a little bit concerning. But let's check out some of these comments. We've got Jam Blue Jam. After 2K20 and contractually obligated to release a wrestling game this year, Battlegrounds. Okay, so this person's saying that 2K had to release a game, so they released Battlegrounds. The only reasonable position with this game is skepticism. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to be wrong, but at this point, with that trailer, to be saying it's going to be great is so dumb. Yeah, I agree with Blue Jam. You don't know if it's going to be good or not. Like, all you can do is speculate. And again, I think given what 2K20 was, skepticism is probably a healthy, that's a healthy place to be with this game. You're not going to be disappointed, at least. Sting! Oh my god, Sting is over here commenting. It's very lackluster. I've not been convinced to purchase any of their games since 2016. I'm still not impressed with them, especially at a time like now where things are pretty depressing and stressful with all the restrictions in the world. The only wrestling game I have a significant amount of hope and enthusiasm about is AEW, considering that the director of No Mercy and the entire team of Ukes has total control over what goes in the game. That's a very interesting comment. I see, I'm not even going to get excited for AEW. They have earned that level of trust, to be honest, just based on the TV and their action figure line and what they are doing for the fans so far. I think it is a very interesting game, and it could be something that really affects the next WWE 2K release. So, yeah, I respect this dude's opinion there. Hans Sprungfeld, isn't that Jebediah Springfield's pirate name? Considering this more than double the time they usually spend on these games, it's very average. Yeah, 100%. It should. This is what I mean. It's not that this is like overly egregiously bad, but we are all expecting a lot more. 2K22 looks far better than 2K20. No shit. Good, thanks for the comment. Only person I saw complaining so far, I'm guessing he means not do far, this game will be so good. You don't fucking know that. You don't know if this game's gonna be good. I don't know if this game's gonna be good. So, what are you talking about? Liam Talks, good video, my dude. Yeah, this is a bad sign. It's coming out in less than 2 months and they're clearly hiding the game. Nobody cares about this skit stuff that's just a distraction to avoid showing the gameplay. Yeah, agreed. That's what I mean. The marketing is becoming a bit tedious and on the nose. Like, you know, your last game was a catastrophe. Like, don't just walk in the room without a little bit of humility with what's going on. Can't read the name because it's written in a different language. No games is perfect. Yes, I agree. No game is perfect. And I'm not expecting a perfect game. But again, the difference between 2K20 and a perfect game, you get a lot of leeway in there. 96 Bread. Damn, I wanted AEW versus WWE in my GM. Yeah, me too. That was the thing that I was most excited for. I've gone back and looked at when the game was first announced, and that was the first thing that I was worried about. I'm like, you watch them lock the GM mode brands. I can see this coming a mile away. Maybe I manifested that into existence. Insert generic username here. I'm of the opinion graphically it looks dog shit. The lack of gameplay itself is concerning due to how we're supposed to be released, how soon it's close to be released. The physics are meant to be better, yet the hair ropes all look terrible, not impressed. You heard the man. I mean, yeah, graphically the trailer didn't look good. The screenshots look a lot better, but again, 2K has a proven history of releasing screenshots of certain characters, and then when you get the game, those characters look significantly better than the other 90% of characters in the game. So, yeah, reason to be concerned based on what's happened in the past. So this is a little back and forth that I had with John Hawker. His comment was, "What next? The Earth is flat," which I don't understand what thing I said that prompted that. I don't know what his deal was, so I asked. Well, I said, "Buh." He said, you can't speak, squeaker. Let me translate. I'll bet your next video is going to be how the Earth is flat." Okay, I was like, yeah, cool. Why are you saying this? What's your point? He said, "First of all, let's have a look at the title. None of this looks promising. Bruh, seriously, this is the best WWE game has ever looks." So this guy is god-awful spelling aside. Most promising ever? I wouldn't say that at all. And again, we're coming off of 2K20, which was a complete disaster. I said, you're allowed to feel that way. Did you know that the GM mode has been locked? Because that was one of the things that I was complaining about. His reply, what did you expect, to create your own brand for my GM? Yes, I did. I will agree with you, that would have been a great feature. Yes, it fucking would. But unlike you, probably, I've never experienced GM mode in any way before, so I'm happy with whatever. Well, I have experienced GM mode. Every single one of them. And they all were locked to WWE brands, and it's been like 13 fucking years since the last one came out. Pretty sure they could figure out how to add custom brands onto a GM mode, game mode. Like that, I mean, come on. You look at NBA 2K, you can have whatever teams you want. I mean, I'm the Orlando Solar Bears at the moment. My missus' team is the, what was she? She had a weird one. It was like the Nashville Olympians or something. I don't know what she was thinking. You know, you can customize the living shit out of NBA, and you can customize the living shit out of Universe Mode. This is absolutely no excuse. HBK fandom. Well, this is why I didn't like negative fans. Okay, you can say that if you like. This is coming from a place of knowing these games inside and out for, I don't know, since No Mercy. So I kind of feel like I know what I'm talking about to a degree. Trust me, Life of Daz. Trust me, it's better than the last game. It sucked. Yeah, but guys, don't let 2K20 be your measuring stick of whether or not this game sucks. If it's anywhere near 2K20, it sucks and you should get your money back. It needs to be exceptional. It's a new generation as well. Honestly, it is a perfect storm. They've got a massive task ahead of them, but they've had 2 years to do it. So I think as paying customers, especially if you're going to be dropping $180 dues Australian just to get the NWO edition so you can access all the community creations, we've got the right to sort of be sitting back saying, all right, show me something that matters, guys, because all this advertising is coming across very, very boring, and you're not convincing me of anything. You're just trying to suck in idiots that will see advertisement that has no gameplay and then run out and pre-order that game. That's not a good, might be a great marketing strategy for money, but the gamers are soon going to get wise to that. And with an AEW game on the horizon, I'm telling you, what's 2K? I'm more interested in 2K23 than I am in 2K22. I think that one is going to be a very interesting rollout. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about this. Again, this is just a big chat about the game in general, and you know what I want to see in this game and what I'm worried about and things like that. Sound off in the comments. If I replied to one of your comments in there, give it a thumbs up as well. And again, happy to keep the conversation going, guys. But as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.